Well, thank you for joining us, Minister.
My pleasure.
Aung Myo Min is the Minister of Human Rights in a government that functions in exile.
We have some cabinet members from the winning political parties. At the same time, we have some cabinet members representative of the ethnic resistance organization. And by myself, I'm not ethnic, I'm not politicians, but someone who worked for human rights.
If he went back to Myanmar, he'd be arrested, along with the estimated 27,000 other opponents of the regime. For him, it all started with the military coup of 1988.
Troops have been shooting people all day. The troops opened fire, killing at least 4 doctors and 8 nurses.
I was a very non-political student, but suddenly my life changed because when I witnessed the killing of my colleague on the street.
Were you imprisoned?
Not, because I managed to escape, right after the military coup in 1988.
And then you became a soldier in the jungle for a while?
Yeah, I was a member of the All-Burma Democratic Forces, which was also known as the Student Army, and served there for 3 years.
If it all seems a long way away, it isn't. Just last month, Myanmar refugees here, there are around 5,000 in Aotearoa, they put themselves and relatives at home seriously at risk when they protested a visit by the military regime to Wellington. New Zealand was hosting ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Our Prime Minister justified attendance of a senior diplomat from the regime because he wasn't high level.
As long as they aren't on our exclusion list.
Protesters argued that any visit helped legitimise the military regime.
Well, first, Myanmar is a member of ASEAN. So ASEAN has kind of, some extent of finding the way of solving the political problems. But ASEAN itself is not strong enough.
What is the state of human rights in Myanmar today?
Right now, the military, using all their military powers to attack on the civilian villages, and then killing, lots of people, and then burning down every villages they have. So the situation right now is more than human rights violation, or go beyond the human rights violation, is constitute the international crimes.
For decades now, the military has ruled the cities, villages, and jungles of Myanmar with an iron fist. Soldiers killing, terrorizing, and jailing their opponents with seeming impunity. But now the tide appears to be turning after a highly successful offensive by resistance militia launched last October.
If you ask me this question in the last 3 years, I think maybe we will win. But right now, I'm very convinced and committed to say we are winning.
Not only have anti-government fighters had stunning military successes, they've also overcome ethnic and political differences to form a united front, the minister says.
We all know that who are the real perpetrators of the crimes, which is the military. And people are united not only within their ethnic organization, but also with the ethnic organization and new democratic forces.
It doesn't get more diverse or desperate than Myanmar. Hundreds of ethnic groups, 3 main religions, more than 20 fully fledged militia, 2.6 million people forced from their homes by the conflict, at least 40,000 people existing in border camps. The list goes on.
The High Commissioner for Human Rights described Myanmar as the never-ending nightmare. It's going every day, it's happening, it's the longest civil war and the series of things, but it's not well covered by the international media. Ukraine, Gaza, the things that Myanmar is under shadow.
In 2015, Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi and the National League for Democracy won a supermajority in the first genuinely open election since the 60s. It did the same in 2020, but Aung San Suu Kyi went from pro-democracy hero to apologist for the general's campaign to essentially ethnically cleanse hundreds of thousands of Rohingya Muslims in the years after 2013.
Aung San Suu Kyi always promote national reconciliation. She believed that military would listen. Under the national reconciliation, there would be a peaceful solution on that.
You think she was naive?
She overconfident that she could mentor the military with this kind of national reconciliation.
Do you have the faith in her, or have you been disappointed by her?
I was a bit disappointed on her stand for Rohingya.
By 2021, the military had staged a coup and were back in power. It galvanized opposition groups like never before. Aung San Suu Kyi back under house arrest, tens of thousands of young people, professionals and intellectuals fled the cities to join the fight while pledging allegiance to the shadow National Unity Government.
People from all ages, generations, and people from different political backgrounds, people from different ethnicities emerge together. And our call is not only change the leadership, but also change the military dictator system.
The war has devastated the economy, left millions in poverty, seen an implosion of healthcare, and a shortage of doctors because they too have become targets of the regime. It's also opened the door to industrial-scale criminal operations, from cybercrime to drugs.
Well, Myanmar is the highest opium productions, and Myanmar is the hub of the human trafficking and migrants and refugees.
So is the military government making money from crime? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Myanmar is now the biggest producer of opium in the world.
Yeah.
There are also regional power politics at play. Myanmar has enormous natural resources. It straddles both China and India, and the superpowers continue to provide the regime with weapons.
The military support by some countries who are helping them by supporting arms.
Which countries?
Russia.
And China?
China as well. But China is a bit, they scale down the relations engagement.
Our own engagement has involved sanctions of the military leaders, but New Zealand doesn't give direct assistance to the National Unity Government or militia. So why does Myanmar matter to us? And what more can we be doing?
Well, New Zealand do a lot. First one is that providing direct, humanitarian assistance to help the refugees. But please be careful about the military has a long history of exploiting that kind of assistance. So humanitarian assistance is needed, but it should be cross-border assistance in consultation with the ethnic organization who have a long history of delivery services. I know that the solution is not only change the government, we have to build the new Myanmar with their constitution, lots of reforms. So New Zealand government can play a very important role.
But before then, the desperate fight for control of Myanmar continues.
Last week,